It's official. Elon Musk is now in charge of Twitter.
You can't argue with the fact that Twitter's a way to get a message out to massive amounts of people. So I want to make a brief video here.
Ahead of a court-ordered deadline Friday, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX closed the $44 billion deal, setting the stage for an overhaul of the platform that he says will be built around free speech. Musk tweeted, "The bird is freed." He also updated his Twitter bio to read Chief Twit and made his location Twitter headquarters. According to multiple reports, his first order of business was relieving the company's senior leadership, with CEO Parag Agrawal exiting the company. Chief Financial Officer Ned Siegel tweeted Friday that Thursday was his last day at the company after 5 years of working there. Agrawal is in line to receive a $39 million severance in the deal, while Siegel will receive a payday of more than $25 million. Twitter reps did not reply for comment. The deal marks the end of a wild 7 months in which Musk went from being a Twitter investor to leading a hostile takeover in mere weeks, and with him seeking to terminate the deal just a few months later, citing Twitter's well-known issues with bots on the platform. But the deal is now done. As for what Musk will do now that he does own Twitter, the Washington Post reports that one idea under consideration is cutting 75% of Twitter's employee base, potentially improving its margins but paving the way for a less moderated platform. For more on this story and the latest news, go to TA.
Okay, this is great. This is actually amazing because this is showing you that somebody who's pretty highly educated, they're an entrepreneur, and they can get enough attention on them, they're able to now go in and do a takeover of a company like Twitter. I mean, look at how important Twitter was in the last election. Like, whatever your political views, you can't argue with the fact that Twitter's a way to get a message out to massive amounts of people. So I want to make a brief video here to really highlight something that I would say 99% of people that I talk to are overlooking. Okay, here's the point. A lot of people look at Elon and they see him as some sort of god. This guy who's just unstoppable and so amazing and creating all these companies and stuff like that. And it's like, sure, right? Elon has figured out a few things, no doubt about it. You can't really argue with that. However, if you start now looking at Elon as better than you, that's the real issue, right? Rather, look at Elon as an equal. He's just a guy who's figured out a few things. He has an insane work ethic. You know, he compromises a lot. He's very smart. From a young age, he was reading science fiction like a maniac. But how about for you, or if you got kids? Like, I'm interested in creating the next generation to have 10,000 people that are smarter than Elon, because it's 100% possible if you have the right way of educating a child. And so that's what I'm really excited about. Let's say at 10, 20, 30 years down the road, when now we have an army of people that are as smart as Elon, yet even smarter and with principles, like a real code of conduct with how they do business, right? And like an ethos that's out there in the public, in the open. And when we can do that, because again, in the future, I mean, like, jobs are going to change. The economy's changing. There's so much that we can't even imagine what's going to be possible. I mean, look at Elon's company, even with Tesla. They have the Tesla bot. It's like the iRobot movie straight up in modern times. In 10 years, let's even say 20 years, imagine what's going to be possible with that. So we're not going to have jobs like we do now, right? This whole hierarchy within companies is going to be very, very different. I was reading the book Future Proof the other day. I was rereading it, and they're talking about how in Davos back in 2020, the change has happened where it used to be in the past, the CEOs would talk about how automation was going to help their employees. It's like, automation is going to replace the jobs that people don't like, and we'll get new jobs for people. It'll be great, right? But in 2020, 2021, the conversation totally changed to becoming a ruthless desire to automate as much of the workforce as possible, like 99%. And so look at that and look at, who are you? Are you the guy who's happy to work in the Tesla factory and just so you can, say you work there? Well, guess what? You ain't gonna have a job in 10 or 20 years, even maybe 5 years, 6 years. And wouldn't you rather be in a position where you can think and operate at that level, where you know how to build businesses, how to get people's attention? How do you even go about taking over something like Twitter? So that's what's exciting for me, is what the future holds, because Again, having just a few people like Elon or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or these people that are looked at like business icons, we need way more of that. And if you're operating off a school system education, whether it's public school, private school, I don't even care if you went to Montessori school or a Waldorf school. Either way, if you went to a school and you were looking at an authority to teach you, that programmed you in a certain way to just look for authorities. That's probably why you like Elon Musk anyway, because he reminds you of an authority and you listen to him just because you see him as an expert. And again, he's got a decent track record. I'm not knocking that. I'm saying stop looking at yourself as inferior to him. That's the real message, right? And don't look at him as, oh, he's the one, he's responsible for getting us to Mars, right? Or whatever that's supposed to be about. It's like, that's like you just waiting around, sitting on your ass, waiting for Jesus to come on a cloud. It's like this savior complex that we have where we're all looking for a savior to come save the day. Newsflash, no one person or one thing can save the day. The thing that's gonna save the day or change things for real is gonna be all of us together uniting, right? All of us, well, it's gonna start with the new 1%. And then the 1% is gonna spread to 2%, to 4%, to 8%. And at some point, if you look at the diffusion of innovation, it's a cool talk by Simon Sinek about it, where he says at about 18.4%, that is where you cross the chasm. And if you can get a movement to spread that big, that goes beyond that, then it becomes normal. Like Tesla went through this, right? All the Tesla cars out there. At one point, people were saying, Tesla, I don't want that thing. You know, it's gonna die, or whatever the excuse was. But at a certain point, more than 18.4% of people became okay with the idea of an electric vehicle. And now, voila, it's everywhere. At least here in the United States, right? And I know in Europe, they have a bunch of legislation pushing it forward as well. So, you know, I like to analyze these things in the world. I like to stay up to date on current events. I don't sit there watching the news all day by any means, but I do stay up to date because this kind of stuff can be extremely inspiring. I mean, this is the cutting edge. Look at what Elon's doing, how he's thinking about things, and really when you study his past, you'll realize from a very young age how he approached education. Even though he's from South Africa, didn't have the greatest upbringing, he read books like a fiend. I mean, the amount of science fiction that he took into his brain, he programmed himself from a young age, I'm guessing unintentionally, but to be in the position he's in now. Let's now replicate that into the next generation of kids. And so that way, we can have a world where building a new type of robot or a new type of electric car, renewable energy or whatever, that's just a normal thing. And then that'll free us up to work on way bigger and better things, all right? So let's stop sitting around, hoping Elon saves the day, watching what he does, and get on the front lines. And for those of you who want to see how could you get yourself to think like an Elon, think like a disruptor and an innovator, reach out, because we have a whole community of people who are doing this, and we have kids on track that are ahead of where Elon was. So if you have depth of vision, you can see things, you can see patterns. I mean, reach out. There's a lot of cool stuff I can share with you. All right, cheers.